Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Akila, and today I'm just going to be taking you through a quick morning flow. So this one's going to be really nice if you're just waking up the body. It's going to be fairly gentle, and we're not going to do anything too crazy. It's just going to be a nice stretch and just an awakening of the body. So all that being said, I don't have any props with me today, but you're more than welcome to grab 2 blocks if you like it, for things like half splits and pyramid pose, things like that. You might want the blocks to bring the floor just a little bit closer to you. So all that being said, we're going to start in a child's pose. Knees come to the edges of the mat. Heels are in towards the bum. Hands walk forward. And the forehead can drop towards the mat. Taking a moment here to just draw some attention to the breathing. Lengthening the breath in through the nose. And then exhale also through the nose, keeping the lips sealed. Starting to practice our Ujjayi breath. So on the exhales, we're aiming for a slight constriction in the back of the throat, emulating the sound of an ocean wave. You may be able to hear my breathing in the microphone. That's kind of what we're aiming for if you can hear it. And from here, come up onto the fingertips, so lifting the elbows from the floor, activating the child's pose here. We're going to take a few cat-cows in our child's pose. So on the inhale, pull the chin forward, introducing a small arch into the spine. And on the exhale, round any capacity that you can, aiming to look in towards the belly button. Inhales, drop the chest, pull through, gaze comes forward. Exhale, round into the spine. Tailbone can tuck slightly here as well. Inhale, pull through, gaze comes forward. And you can use your fingertips to traction back here, maybe get a little more arch. Maybe the mat bends a little bit. Exhale, round. We'll do this one more time. The movement doesn't have to be drastic. Inhale, pull through, finding an arch. And exhale, round into the back. Look in towards the belly button. Then plant the hands, and you're going to pull yourself forward into a tabletop position. So readjusting the knees so that they're under the hips, wrists underneath of the shoulders. And then tuck the back toes. And I want you to take a little rock back, so sit back onto the heels and knees lift slightly. So here we're going to do another variation on the cat-cow. So inhale, belly drops, gaze comes up. Exhale, rock the hips back, lift the knees up slightly, round, press into the palms of the hands. Inhale, come forward, arch, look up. Exhale, press back, lift the knees. Imagine your forehead could come to your knees here, maybe they do. One more time, inhale, drop the belly, rock forward through your tabletop, gaze comes up. And exhale, rock back, stretching the bottoms of the feet, knees lift. Come back through your tabletop. And then just send your left leg back, toes tucked. Gentle rock forward and back, opening up into the calf. Next time you exhale, switch sides. And just a gentle rock forward and back here. Awakening the bottoms of the feet, calf. And then return through your tabletop. Inhale one more time, drop the belly, gaze comes up. And exhale, press into the hands and feet, lift the hips up and back, finding a downward facing dog. Encourage a generous bend into the knees here in your first down dog of the day. Maybe a little pedal from foot to foot. Starting open up into the backs of the hamstrings. Lengthening the spine. If you're finding you're rounding forward and putting unnecessary pressure into your shoulders and your wrists, try and bend generously into the knees so you can send the hips up and back and try and lengthen into the spine. One more inhale here. Exhale, take the gaze forward and take the feet to walk to the top of the mat. Finding the feet to the hands, taking a forward fold. Maybe the elbows come to the hands here. Maybe you take a little bounce. Next time you inhale, you're going to lengthen into the spine as we did in our child's pose, so slight arch in the back, chest pulls forward. Exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale, roll all the way up through the spine. When you come to stand, arms reach out and up overhead, palms come to touch. Exhale, hands through the heart space. Release the hands down by the sides. Tadasana, mountain pose. Next inhale, arms reach up, palms touch. Exhale, we come back to the fold. Inhale, lengthening the spine forward. And exhale, bend generously into both knees. We're going to plant the hands and step just the left foot back, finding a low lunge, back knee drops. Tenting the fingertips out in front of you. Maybe you can wiggle the knee into the outer edge of the right shoulder. And from here, we're going to inhale, chest pulls forward. Try and find that slight arch in the spine, like in your cat pose. And exhale, try and keep your fingertips where they are and do a little bit of a straightening into the front knee and curl in. So not a full half splits, but as if you were going to go there. Next inhale takes the chest forward. Exhale, send the hips slightly back round into the spine. Maybe the toes of the front foot lift. One more time, inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, round. Next inhale brings you back to neutral. Hands plant underneath of the shoulders, lifting the back knee. Stepping the right foot back to meet the left, finding a plank pose. Check in here with your alignment. Make sure that the fronts of the hip bones are lifting up and forward. So we don't want them sinking back and the low belly dropping towards the floor. We want to make sure we have a neutral spine as much as possible. On the exhale, drop to the knees, or you can lower from the toes all the way down to the belly. Untuck the toes when you arrive, and inhale, pull the chest through, finding a baby back bend here, baby cobra. Exhale, releases the chest to the floor. Inhale, presses you through your tabletop position. Exhale, tuck the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Any adjustments of the hands or feet that you need to find this position? Stable and grounding. Next inhale takes your gaze forward between the hands and take your little steps, or you can take a hop if you feel ready to come into a forward fold at the top of the mat. As you arrive, inhale, lengthen the spine forward, rebound, pulling the sternum towards the front of the room. And exhale, let it release, fold. Inhale, roll all the way up to stand, arms reach out and up overhead, palms touch. Exhale, hands transit through the heart, down by the sides, Tadasana. Inhale, arms reach up overhead. Exhale, we fold. Hips high, head low. Inhale, rebound, pull the chest forward for a flat back. Exhale, bend into the knees, plant the hands. Step just the right foot back this time. Back knee drops. Fingertips tent towards the front of the mat. Your inhale takes the chest forward for the cow belly. Exhale, round. Send the hips slightly back for cat. Inhale, pull the chest forward. Really sink into that front hip. Exhale, round. Look towards the belly button. Inhale, pull the chest through. Exhale, round. One last time this side. Inhale, pull the chest through. And exhale, round. Look towards the belly button. Next inhale brings you back through neutral, hands plant either side of the left foot, tucking the back toes, lengthening the back knee, lifting it from the floor, coming through your plank pose. Inhaling here, checking the alignment. Long line of energy down the back of the body from the crown of the head through to the heels. And exhale from the knees or toes, we lower, this time to a hover chaturanga. Inhale, pull through, finding a back bend. You can flip to the tops of the toes or keep them tucked if that's more comfortable for you. And exhale, lift the hips up and back, finding your downward facing dog. I don't know why, but I'm somehow migrating backwards on my mat. We'll take one more standing flow, then we'll start to slow it down. Next inhale takes the right leg up and back for three-legged dog. Lots of energy through the right toes. And exhale, pull the knee in towards the chest, step the foot through, finding your low lunge. Again, fingertips tent forward. Inhale, this time the knees lifted in the back, pull the chest through. And exhale, straighten any amount into the front leg and around into the spine. Inhale, pull the chest through, bend into the front knee. Exhale, back the hips up, straighten the front leg, round into the spine. One more time, inhale. Lengthen the spine forward. Find any amount of arch in the chest, pull the chest forward through. And exhale, straighten into the front leg, pyramid pose variation with the cat back. Next, inhale, bends into the front knee. Exhale, pivot your back foot so that it's parallel to the back edge of the mat. And windmill the hands up, finding a warrior two. So here the shoulders are facing the left edge of your mat. Arms reaching out to both sides and gaze comes over the right fingertips. Inhaling here. Exhale, maybe a little bit of depth in the bend in that front leg. On your next inhale, straightening through the front leg, pivot the right foot to face the edge of the mat. And exhale, we're gonna turn the left toes slightly outwards and sink the hips down, finding a Skandasana. So toes of the right foot here, aiming to come up towards the ceiling, and any amount of bend you can get into the left leg. So you may not come all the way down as low as this, that's totally fine. It's important that you listen to your body and meet yourself where you're at right now. And with practice and time, more flexibility will come. Next time you inhale, you're going to pivot to face the back edge of your mat, coming into a low lunge. And we set up for the other side, so fingertips walk forward, tenting slightly in front of you. Inhale, pull the chest through. Opening across the collarbones, exhale, straighten into the left leg, round into the back, maybe the front toes lift. Inhale, chest pulls forward, front knee bends. Exhale, extend into the left leg, round the back. One more time, inhale, pull forward. Traction the chest forward using your fingertips. And exhale, round into the back. Straighten into that front leg any amount. Inhale, bend into that front leg. Pivot the back heel to come so that the edge of the right foot is parallel to the edge of the back of the mat. And windmill the arms up, finding warrior two. Inhaling deeply here. And on the exhale, maybe you find a bit more depth. Imagine someone's gently pulling on your wrists in both directions. And if you find yourself taking the torso and the rib cage forward, you're creating extra work on that front thigh. There's extra weight, bringing gravity down. So try and readjust the rib cage so that you're over your pelvis. One more inhale here. Exhale, we settle. Inhale, straightening into both legs. And then pivot your right foot so the toes meet the top left edge of the mat. And come into your Skandasana, bending generously into that right knee. Again, you may be a lot higher up here. You may be more in a side lunge position. You can use the blocks if you have them to bring the floor closer. One more breath here. And exhale, we pivot, find your low lunge, hands plant next to the feet. Step the right foot back, finding your plank pose. Inhale here. Exhale, we lower with control. Inhale, pull through to any back bend of your choice. It can be an up dog or a baby cobra. And exhale, take the hips up and back, finding a downward facing dog. Next inhale is going to take the right leg up and back, finding a three-legged dog. Exhale, pull the knee into the chest, slightly angle the right shin, and then drop down for a pigeon pose. So you're dropping the right shin down on this angle, and then settling the hips towards the mat. If this feels very intense for you, you can always bring a blanket or a pillow or blocks underneath of the hips to lift a little bit in the hips, give you some more support. You can also play with the angle of this front leg. In an ideal pigeon, you would have it at a 90-degree angle, so your toes would be more up here. My body doesn't do that. But as long as you don't have any discomfort in the front knee, it's okay. And you can walk the self forward if you'd like to. Maybe bring the forearms or even the forehead to the floor. And if you notice that the breath started to get really hectic, with the extra movement, you can start to bring it back to a regulated pace here. Next inhale, you come up through the center. Sit over onto the right hip and swing the left leg around so that the left foot plants outside of the right knee. And from here, we'll take a gentle twist. So you can take the right elbow to the outer edge of the left knee. And we want to make sure that we're not cranking the body into this twist. We want to use majority of the core strength to turn us around. And the elbow's just there against the knee for a little bit of extra support. One more inhale to find some length in the spine here. Exhale, maybe you find a little bit more depth in the twist, and you can use those left fingertips walking back to traction a little bit further. Inhale, release. Unravel that left leg, sending it back to where it came, transiting through your pigeon pose, and then step the right foot back, finding a downward facing dog. Next inhale, sends the left leg up and back, really extend through that leg. Exhale, pull the knee into the chest, finding the angle of that shin, and sinking the hips down, finding a pigeon pose. Again, any props that you might like to have underneath of the hips. And it's very much okay to notice that one side might be a lot tighter than the other. You can feel free to walk the chest down towards the floor. Maybe forehead comes to the floor as well. And if you need to find a little wiggle side to side, in this particular posture to kind of find the sweet spot. Feel free to take some gentle movements. Next time you inhale, walk the chest back up. And exhale, sit to the outer left hip and swing that right foot around so that it can plant outside of the left knee. And we take a gentle twist over to the right. So on the inhales, we attempt to find a length in the spine here, feeling that energy from the base of the sit bones up all the way through the spine, out the crown of the head. And on the exhales, you can find a little bit more twist. And we'll take one more breath. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to corkscrew. Next inhale unravels you. And you can just take the feet to plant and we'll roll back into reclined position. It's time for the claw clip to come out. Once you've arrived on your back, just hug your knees into your chest. Again, we'll take one final inhale here. And on the exhale, curl the nose in towards the knees. Hug yourself into a very small little ball. One more inhale here. And on the exhale, release the arms and the legs. Finding a Shavasana. And I say this at the end of all my classes, so if I sound like a broken record, I apologize. But when we're taking Shavasana, feel free to take any restful position that you'd like to. It doesn't have to look like a traditional corpse pose, just laying on the floor like this. It could be a child's pose. It could be Supta Baddha Konasana with the soles of the feet together, the knees falling wide. You could do a seated meditation instead. You could lay on your belly in crocodile pose. There are a lot of reasons why having the belly towards the ceiling and the arms and legs splayed wide like this can feel really vulnerable for some people, can feel a little bit too exposed. So if you'd prefer to take a different variation for your final rest, my main objective for you is comfort above anything else. And I'll just leave you for a couple moments in silence here, and I'll call you back when it's time. can gently start to reawaken the body here. So taking a gentle wiggle into the fingers and the toes. Maybe you shake your head no, giving your skull a massage along the floor. And as you shake your head no, choose a side that when your head falls to that side, you roll over into a fetal position. Keeping the eyes closed, press your way up to a seat. Can be any seat that is comfortable. And once you arrive there, you can take the hands to meet in prayer position at the heart. And take one more unifying breath together in through the nose. Pause at the top. Feel the buoyancy there. And then exhale, you can release through the mouth. And gently blink the eyes open. Thank you so much for choosing to take this practice with me today. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you liked this class, please do subscribe so that you don't miss any of my other classes. I also upload meditations, journaling prompts, and I'm going to be starting to upload some general videos just talking about yoga, some commentary videos. So if you're interested in any of that, please do subscribe to the channel, give this video a like, and let me know what you thought in the comments below.